Finally, you look doable. You don't look like a freak.
Okay.
Of course, now you're gonna look more like Brian Posehn.
No.
Well, when you get older.
No, I'm fine. I'm not gonna look like Brian
Don't mess
Posehn.
with that.
Okay, now everybody shut up.
In the studio.
In the studio. Our live studio audience.
Welcome to another episode of Big and Stupid Game Reviews. I'm Stupid J.
Big Mike. Today we're going to be reviewing Assassin's Creed Revelations. Finally. So,
What'd you like, Mike?
oh, I liked this game. I don't know. I found myself liking, finishing up the stories, obviously. I saw the ending of Ezio's story. They have online movies, and I'm a huge fanboy of this series, so I already saw those, but I like to see what led up to it. You know, how he met his wife and, you know, all that stuff. I really enjoyed Altair's story parts. They were short, you didn't have to do too much, but I just like the closure of his story parts.
Well, I have to agree. I like the Altair parts. I like them to be short because, to me, this part of the game with Brotherhood, with Part 2 Brotherhood in this, it feels like it's Ezio's story, and I would prefer it to be straight Ezio, which I know I'm not going to get. And Ezio is easily in my top 10 favorite video game characters of all time. He's a great character, great voice actor. You know, there's a lot to love about him. So I am glad that the Altair parts are short, but it is nice to bring in and close up plot holes, which a lot of video games don't do today.
Yes. The controls, same as the other games. I mean, after 2, they sort of, you know, 2 sort of improved on 1, Brotherhood improved on 2. This one didn't really improve on Brotherhood, but it sort of brought back some of the more interesting stuff from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The first one's a little bit, you know, tedious sometimes, but there were a lot of things that I liked about it. So Revelation sort of brought it in a little bit, the good stuff from the first one, and without all the boring stuff.
I like the look of the game. I noticed they did a great attention to detail, especially when in the cutscenes when you're talking with other characters and you see like patterns in their clothes and all that's really cool. But something that I really liked, which a lot of people probably aren't going to miss or might not even appreciate, is the city itself. If you pay attention, people are actually having regular conversations, and you can listen in. You can stop, and you'll see a guy sweeping in front of his shop.
Mm-hmm.
People are doing things like everyday life. I know when you're running around and you're trying to do assassin, or you're just running rooftop to rooftop, I don't care. But to me, I get more immersed in the game that way, more lost in it.
Probably not something you notice, but if it was gone, then you would say, oh, you know,
Yeah.
it's cool, you know, whatever, but you're just running around a dead city, more nobody. So, and the other thing was, if we're talking about little stuff that we notice that nobody's going to care about, Ezio doesn't look out of place in this one. In all the other ones, he's running around, he has these robes on, and they're white, and they're this and that, and everybody's like wearing rag pants and ripped up shirts. He just looks out of place. But in this one, everybody's colorful, wearing the jewelry, wearing, you know, they all have.
Well, Constantinople's a rich city in this too.
So everybody, he looks less out of place. It's not like you're just playing this character that's above everybody. He just seems like he just fits in there.
The other thing I really like too is options. You can really play this a lot more to how you want with bomb making, other weapons. You really have the options. I personally don't like making the bombs. I'm not into it. I don't like using them. Just not into it. But I like to have the option that I can do whatever I want. The parachute, just, you know, if you want, you can just run around and just jump off high things and parachute over and whatnot. You have those options, and that's nice to have the options whether I want to use them or not.
That's what I was doing all day yesterday. I was climbing up high things and then jumping off with the parachutes. Yes, I spent like 2 hours.
So, and the kills I enjoy too a lot more in this. A lot more great counters. Just some brutal ones too, like shoving a sword in the guy's mouth and having him come up back his head and then breaking his neck for no reason.
Yeah.
He's pretty much dead after that. You know, there's a lot more to this game that I little stuff that I found much more enjoyable, and the combat is definitely better.
Yes. I hate to get to this part.
The part you hate?
The part that I don't like about
Very
it.
good.
There's one part that I don't like about Assassin's Creed
Oh, don't
games.
worry, I'll find plenty for you.
No, I have one, and it's Desmond. God damn it, I hate Desmond. His story's not interesting, the character's not interesting, and those sections in this game, his sections when you collect the Animus fragments, they're first person, first of all. It's a puzzle, and not a good puzzle. I love puzzle games. But these are stupid. Desmond feels like he's 2 feet tall. It looks like your camera's sliding across the floor. They're just dumb, pointless, and instead of actually telling his story, it's just him talking and some pictures against the wall. They're just, I don't know if you did any of them.
No, I refused because when I was staying on top of this before it came out, watching stuff on Machinima and IGN and whatnot, every time I saw anything for those puzzle sequences, I went, wow, that looks like something I won't ever play, because it doesn't look interesting.
No.
And they say it will close Desmond's story up, and I don't care about Desmond at all.
No.
It's not that I think the character is bad.
No, he is bad.
There's just nothing to the character to like.
No.
There's nothing, he's not like some sort of like jerk off. He's just, oh, that guy's a prick, I hate him. No, he's just like, oh, I'm here, and I don't care.
Well, when you don't care about a character, that means he's a bad character. That's all I have. Just Desmond. Just get rid of Desmond.
Unfortunately, Desmond's the main point of the whole series.
No.
Unfortunately, he is.
Maybe Ubisoft Montreal will burn down, and then we'll never get the Desmond game. I don't want that to happen.
Again, my main problem with this game, with all previous games, now, granted, I didn't play the first, but I played 2 up, and that's controls. I still think the controls are shit. I don't like doing the tomb sections where I have to run, and if my toggle's off just a little bit, he jumps way off to the right. I don't like climbing buildings and I jump off for no reason. I don't like getting into combat and I have to initiate it, because if I don't, when I go to hold the trigger to get into combat stance, it does not, it will not register. So if I get caught and I'm surrounded by guys and I get into a defensive position, it won't register. I have to actually be hit, or I have to hit someone, which is just bad design. If you should be able to ready to do combat.
No,
at
I'm
any
so
time.
used to it that it doesn't.
Well, that's the
matter.
thing, and it's like that for a lot of games that have bad controls. Sometimes you exploit them. You learn how, and you can use them, and you exploit them. There's a lot of games that are like that. Gears of War is famous for bad controls.
Oh, well, don't talk about
I'm
Gears.
I'm just
we'll
saying.
talk about Gears
It's
in
another
a later
game.
episode.
It's another game where it has bad controls,
It
and
does.
people think it's great when it's not. If you can exploit them, then good for you. I can't. I'm just not good at it. You know, you are. You love the series. You played it more than I have. But for someone who's newer to the series and doesn't play it very often, I'm gonna get destroyed, and I do, and I get slaughtered more in this than I did in Brotherhood. Which Brotherhood I had real major problems with those controls.
Okay. Well, the other thing is there's a multiplayer component to this one, just like Brotherhood. I didn't really notice anything too much different from Brotherhood. For some reason, it felt a little bit more competitive. Brotherhood, I was always in the top 2, 3 whenever I was playing. But this one, it seems like people are taking it more seriously. Maybe it's just because it's the new game, you know, so the competitive people are in there.
Well, now's a good time to play it too. We're in December, so a lot of good games came out. So the people that are probably playing it right now are the people who love the series. So it's people who want to play it more serious as compared to Brotherhood when we were playing, and everyone wasn't playing it the way it was meant to be played, running around like seeing Mad Men and not stalking and trying to be more assassin-like, and I loved the multiplayer. The multiplayer is fun. I never really had any issues with it. And if you want to be stealthy and feel like an assassin, it's a good way to play it. The only thing that ever ruined it was people. So to review it based on people giving you a bad experience is not fair.
Well,
it is good multiplayer and it is fun.
it is.
And especially if people are playing it right, it makes it even And it's one of those games like if you get killed by someone who's doing it right,
Yeah.
you don't throw the controller. You
no.
almost applaud that guy
Yeah.
because you're like, no, that's the way it's supposed to be
I've
done.
sent more than one message to somebody who's killed me cool.
There's many times where I played and I walked, and then all of a sudden I just like fall over and I die from being poisoned, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how'd that happen? Awesome, awesome. Which is much better than saying being shot in the face from a guy jumping off of a rooftop,
Yeah.
which would be cool in any other series but this.
Yes.
It's just not meant to be.
Okay, well, let's get down to the meat of it. What do you think?
I recommend definitely for fanboys. If you loved the series so far, stick with it. If you're new to it, stay far away. Start with 2.
Start with 2.
Start
yeah.
with 2. You can get it cheap, and then make your decision from there. If you're like me and you didn't like the controls, but you were still immersed in it, then stick with it. You're probably going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the story. I do enjoy Ezio. So that's why I've been sticking with it, even though I hate the controls.
Okay.
So if you're a fanboy, yes. If you're new to the series, no, stay away from it.
But yeah, don't start with it. Definitely start with 2. I started with 2 and then went to 1 because I enjoyed 2 so much. But I wouldn't even think about playing 1 or any of the other ones until you played 2. Start with 2. If you're a fan, get it new. There's no reason not to. It's a fantastic game.
So I guess we're pretty much on the fence with that.
Unfortunately, we agree. That's no fun.
No. Even though I still bash your terrible controls.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
if you were
fine.
playing on PlayStation, then maybe you wouldn't have such a problem with it.
I would, but I don't want to be made fun of.
All right, that's it. That's it for this week.
Yeah, check out our Facebook page and like us.
Yes.
And subscribe to this because we only have 1 subscriber.
We do have 1. Hey, subscriber.
Thank
That's
you.
a shout out to you.
Yes, and we don't know who you are, but thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks a lot.
But yeah, like us on Facebook, Big and Stupid Game Reviews.
Yes.